Hey, and welcome to the Revamp Your Small Business Brand Workshop, where you'll learn how to get the absolute most out of your brand and your website as a small business owner. So, whether you're totally starting from scratch with no brand or website in place yet, or you're looking to update what you've currently got, maybe your brand doesn't match your business at this point, I've got you covered. I'm your host, Meredith. And before we get started, I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to join me for this webinar. I'm so excited that you're here. We've got a lot of great ground to cover, so grab your notebook and a pen and let's go ahead and get started.
All right, so this is the Revamp Your Small Business Brand Workshop, where we're going to be chatting all about how to pull together all of your brand and website pieces and refine them so that you can show your clients and your customers your best face forward. What you'll learn today is how to revamp your existing small business brand to get the most value possible out of your branding assets and your website. So before we get started, I want to introduce myself. My name is Meredith, and I've got 8 years of professional design experience working with high-profile brands. I've built a 6-figure business helping female entrepreneurs scale with brand and web design strategy. I'm a major cat lady. If you follow us on Instagram, you've probably seen my cat by now. And last but not least, I'm an Enneagram 3 Wing 2, meaning I love to work, but I also love helping people, which is exactly what I'm here to do today. So before we get started, I want you to put your phone away, close out the other 50 Google Chrome tabs that I know you have open. I'm guilty myself. And actually take the time to tune in. You have taken a break from your busy day today to attend this workshop, so let's get the most value out of it possible. Now, I want to know, do you feel like your brand is lacking consistency? Like maybe you use one specific shade of blue on your business cards, and for some reason, it looks different on your Canva templates and your website, and you're not quite sure how to align everything to look the same. Or maybe you don't have a complete logo suite and you're using one logo in one place and a different version of that logo in other places, and it's getting confusing for your audience. Or maybe you just feel like you don't have a system where you can use all of your brand assets effectively across your website, your social media templates, all of those assets. Now I want to know, is your website in need of a major refresh, or do you even have a website at all? If you got an existing website that doesn't quite feel like you, or maybe your offers have changed, or your ideal audience has changed, or you just don't love the look of it, maybe it's time for a refresh. And if your business is completely lacking a website, it's definitely time to look into one, because this is a great way to sell your offers to your ideal customers and clients so you don't have to be on all the time. Last, I want to know, do you feel unsure about website platforms, hosting, SEO, and all of these technical terms around a website? Trust me, you are not alone. So many of my clients come to me completely unaware of how all this stuff works, and I'm here to help make this whole process feel really easy for you. Whether you're a tech whiz or the farthest thing from tech savvy, we can absolutely get your website going on a platform that's easy to use but also functional. So, quick recap, here's what you're going to learn today. You're going to learn how to revamp your small business brand to get the most value possible out of your branding assets and your website. So, how do we do this? Step 1 is we're going to talk about the biggest branding mistakes that small business owners make and how you can avoid them so you're already a step ahead. Next, we'll talk about why branding actually matters for your business. So for anyone that's not sure if they even need a brand in the first place, I want you to pay close attention to this step. And then in step 3, we'll talk about why you really need a website in place like yesterday. Websites are so critical for skyrocketing your growth, and I'm going to show you why. And then finally, we'll end with the secrets to a high converting website. So all of the little tricks that we use to help our clients sell their offers efficiently and increase those conversion rates with effective websites. And if this sounds like a lot, remember that I help small business owners literally just like you revamp their brands and their websites every single day. And you can absolutely do this. Even my non-tech savvy gals in the back, you got this. All right, so I want you to imagine that feeling when you've got a solid, high converting brand and website in place that you can feel proud of. What does that look like for you? What does it really feel like? Write it down in your notes. Let's visualize together. Maybe that means you're getting higher conversions on the products that you sell on your website. Or maybe it means that once you get a website in place, your DMs are filling up with inquiries from your ideal clients. Brainstorm with me what this would feel like. So now, where do we start with all this? Starting with step 1, we're going to talk about the biggest branding mistakes that small business owners make and exactly how you can avoid them. So, the first mistake that I see small business owners making around their brand is thinking that their entire brand is just a logo. And I totally understand that this is a very common misconception. So, don't feel bad if you've thought this in the past. I've had a lot of clients think this as well. But understand that your brand is so much more than just one logo. In fact, you actually need multiple logos. And what I mean by this is not, a bunch of mismatched, disjointed looking logos. I'm talking about a diverse set where you can use different layouts with the same typography so that you have a logo that works in every single space. Because typically, when clients have one logo, thinking that's their whole brand, they can't use that logo effectively because no one logo works in every single space. Think about what will work on your business cards versus what will work in your Instagram profile picture, right? We need one logo that works for more horizontal spaces and one logo that works for really small, more square or round spaces. Versatility is absolutely key in designing your own assets. Your brand is actually a combination of your logos, your color palette, your typography suite, your brand guide, and more. So it's really not just a logo. Now, let's dive deeper into those logo variations for a second. If you're looking to better connect with your ideal clients, your business will need a cohesive and versatile brand identity. So, what does a versatile brand actually look like? An important part of this is variation. Let's discuss the most common logo variations that your brand will need and which marketing applications go with which variations. Starting with your logo type, this is commonly referred to as the logo, right? It's what we all think of when we think of a logo. This is the most frequently used logo as it's centered around your company name. Logo types are typically horizontal and a simple way of representing your business. Like I mentioned, these are the most commonly used logos, and the placement for these will be on your website or blog headers, business cards, signs or banners, products and packaging, and promotional merchandise. Now let's chat about monograms. A monogram is a logo made out of initials for use in small spaces. Sometimes it's enclosed in a shape like a circle. Use your monogram on your social media profiles such as Instagram and your website favicon. So anywhere you have a small space where you still need brand recognition, you'll want to plug in your monogram, because if we used your logo type in these situations, it probably would be really hard to read. That's why monograms are great for smaller spaces. Next, we have a badge layout, which is a logo that's highly self-contained and can include a tagline. A badge is often, but not always, contained in a shape. It's really just a fun, versatile extra piece to have in your brand kit. Use your badge on your website or your email footer, your blog graphics, and podcast covers. And then last, we have an emblem, which is a symbol, icon, or illustration that's used to represent the brand. Emblems can be great to make repeating patterns. They can also be used as subtle branding and social media graphics. Logo variations are a critical step in creating a strong and recognizable brand identity. Not only does it allow you to connect with that target audience in impactful ways, but it also establishes brand recognition and loyalty with your customers. Okay, so the next mistake that I see small business owners making is lack of cohesion in their brand. What I mean by lack of cohesion is that these businesses have differing aesthetics across multiple touch points, like, say, Instagram or your website, any of those. And what happens when we have differing aesthetics is this leads to confusion and reduced brand recognition. You have 7 seconds to make a first impression, so your brand needs to be well designed from the get-go with a clear message. Say, for example, your main brand color is sky blue. You might think that using different blues that look similar but are actually different across your social posts, your website, and your logo won't actually matter, but trust me, your target audience will feel something off. It definitely matters. Same goes with fonts. So when you constantly use whatever fonts are trending on Canva that week, your brand has no home base, and it's harder for your ideal customers to recognize your brand. You'll want to stick with the same colors, fonts, and logos wherever you use your brand so that you're appearing consistent to your target audience. Now let's talk about maybe the biggest mistake of them all, which is not having a brand strategy. A brand strategy is a combination of your audience insights, competitor analysis, content strategy, mission, values, and brand heart. Brand strategy creates a long-lasting brand because it's based on actual data. I can't tell you how many times clients have come to me with brands that look like everyone else's on Instagram, and they thought they would like it, but that trend died out and they're over it. Now they have to invest in another rebrand. Branding should be based around your unique personality, so what you bring to the table, your position in the market, and your target audience. This is how we build brands that stand the test of time because they're not based on trends. It's also a great opportunity for you to build loyalty with your customers. 89% of shoppers stay loyal to brands that share their values, and values are a huge part of brand strategy. Make sure you're doing the groundwork before you start any kind of design. Now, the fourth and final mistake that I see tons of small business owners making is basing their brand on trends, like we just talked about. So, have you ever been scrolling Instagram and you see a brand that looks awfully familiar and then another one just like it? That's what we call the Instagram brand, where the fonts, the colors, the layouts, they all start to look the same across multiple businesses. Sure, these brands might be on trend at the moment, but just like fashion, these brands will go out of style. You don't want your brand to expire in a year, especially if you invest in working with a designer, because it's a huge investment. Plus, basing your brand on trends will result in multiple rebrands since you'll be missing the critical foundation elements of a brand, like we just chatted about in the strategy portion. Now, this isn't to say that we can't incorporate trends into aspects of your brand. Trends are there for a reason. Say, for example, that you love a trendy font on Canva. Try using it in a social media post instead of on your actual logo. That way you're not stuck with it in case you decide in a year that you don't like it. Focus on creating a brand that's true to yourself that will last the test of time. Okay, make sure that you're writing this down in your notes. So, step 2, let's cover why branding even matters for your business in the first place. A good brand increases conversions. So, if you are financially motivated, pay extra attention to this part. When buying new products, 59% of shoppers prefer to buy from the brands that they trust, and 21% say they purchased a new product because it was from a brand that they like. That's huge. Your branding actually affects not just the perception of your business, but your bottom line. In fact, consistent branding across all platforms, we talked about consistency earlier, can actually increase revenue by up to 23%. 23%! So if you did $100,000 in revenue, that would be an extra $23,000. Think about that. If you want to increase your revenue, building a brand that evokes trust and creates great customer experience is the best place to start. Think about it. Are you more likely to purchase a candle from a company with gorgeous packaging and a matching website and reviews that makes your experience really easy? Or from a company with an okay looking package design and a website that looks completely different? The second option might actually bring out some hesitation in you because you feel unsure if they're the same brand, right? Like if the packaging looks completely different than the website, you're like, is this the same company? This is why consistency matters. A good brand is gonna increase your conversions. Your brand also directly affects how your customers view your business. So it helps position you as an authority within your industry and helps you stand out from competitors. The goal is for your ideal client or customer to see you as an expert within a few minutes of discovering your brand. Branding is what makes your ideal audience choose you and continue to choose you to create brand loyalty. Also, just quick note on the team front, once you start to scale your business and expand, having a great brand can bring down hiring and training expenses by as much as 50%. So if people resonate with your brand, it won't take much convincing to have them come work with you. It's a true win-win. Now, your brand is also a cornerstone in connecting with your ideal audience emotionally. This is where strategy comes into play, and we'll use pieces like your brand heart, your core values, and your mission to really connect with your audience on that deeper level that's going to have them saying, wow, she's totally in my head. In fact, 43% of customers spend more money on brands that they're loyal to. So your reputation with those ideal customers is really key. Interest, trust, and optimism are the top 3 feelings people experience in relation to the brands they prefer. So we want to hone in on these emotions and build that connection with our audience via the brand. And last, a solid brand creates cohesion and recognition. Again, if you're consistently presenting your brand across different platforms, it can increase revenue by up to 23%. This means you'll want your brand colors, your fonts, and your logo to look the same on every platform, both on and offline. And I don't mean you have to use the same logo everywhere. We talked about variation here, but within that logo set, we have the same fonts and the colors are consistent. So your brand becomes easily recognizable. When people are more aware of your brand and have a positive impression of it, they're more likely to purchase from you. Consistent branding leads to increased visibility, which means more eyes on your product or service. So brands that are consistent across multiple channels are 3.5 times more likely to experience good brand visibility. And visibility means a larger lead pool, and a larger lead pool means a higher amount of conversions. For example, if you use apps like Google Analytics, and you know that for every 100 people that view your sales page, 2 people purchase your $500 course. This is a 2% conversion rate, resulting in about $1,000 in revenue. If you can increase that number to 300 people with increased brand visibility and the same conversion rate of 2%, now you've got 6 people purchasing your course. That leaves you with 3,000. Your conversion rates and your audience size are directly related. This is how brand visibility actually helps you increase your sales. All right, so before we move on to the web design portion, I want to make sure that you've got all of your brand notes written down and ready to go. Now, let's talk about why you need a website in place. Seriously, should have had one like yesterday. So, a lot of businesses think that they don't need a website because they have social media. So, maybe you've got a big Instagram following or TikTok or any platform that you like, I'm not going to judge, and you think that you don't need a website because you have your following on social media. In fact, even in 2022, 23% of small retail businesses don't have a website. A website creates a place to direct leads to that isn't social media. So if Instagram were to disappear tomorrow, would you have any other way to sell your offers? If you're consistently booking clients from DM conversations, but Instagram goes down, how are you going to reach those clients? A website is the safest way to sell. It's an easy way to get people to join your email list, which is the most effective way of selling, as opposed to social media platforms, which they're actually designed to keep the user on the platform. So social media followings are great. You can use them to leverage your lead pool size. But apps like Instagram, TikTok, all of those are designed to keep users on the app, not to promote small businesses. Now, your website is also a great opportunity for you to build credibility with your target audience. In fact, 75% of website credibility comes from design. I'll just drop that bomb for a second. 75% of credibility comes from the site's design. This is why design really matters. A poorly designed website can decrease credibility and trust, therefore lowering the likelihood that a lead or a customer will purchase your offer. This just proves that design is not just a pretty face, it really does contribute to the strategy and performance of your business. Now, your website is also a hub of information for your clients. So it's a place to sell your offers 24/7. You might think that you're an A-plus salesperson, and maybe you are, but can you sell in your sleep or while you're on vacation? No, because you're not physically there. Your website can do that for you. A properly designed website can sell your offers so well that you actually wake up to sales. It's a place to answer lead or client questions 24/7 with an FAQ section, which actually takes work off your plate. So instead of answering the same DMs over and over again with the same response, you can simply send them a link to the answer to their question. It's a great place for a lead to learn more about you, your process, your team, what to expect when working with you, and decide if you're the best fit for them. So for example, if you list on your website that you book your services 2 months in advance and your minimum project cost is $1,500, a lead could find this information out on your website and understand if you're a good fit for them right away. Don't be afraid to eliminate leads here. By getting specific, you're going to make sure that the leads that you actually talk to or have a sales call with or proceed with are a good fit for you and they're qualified, so you're not wasting your time. You can also use your website for free education, which is going to increase your perceived authority in your ideal audience's eyes. So for example, if you're a professional landscaper, you could have a free checklist on everything you need to have in your garden to prepare for winter. Basically, you'd create some sort of free educational resource that your audience is interested in, and this helps them see you as an expert in your field. A website also reaches your audience on their smartphones, so let's talk about why this is important, especially in today's landscape. Having a mobile site today is absolutely critical. So in 2021, in the first quarter, mobile devices generated 54.8% of global website traffic. That means that over half of all website traffic came from a phone. Also, 53.9% of all retail commerce is expected to be generated via mobile devices, meaning about half of all purchases in the retail sector will come from phones. And if I haven't convinced you already, 74% of users are more likely to return to a site if it's mobile friendly. Hello, repeat customers. Non-responsive web design is a top reason why users actually leave a website, so we want to take note of this. Creating a website that's accessible on your desktop, your laptop, your smartphone is essential in reaching your audience wherever they're at and therefore lowering the barrier to entry in purchasing your offer. We want to make it as easy as possible for your ideal audience to purchase from you. Having a mobile site is how we do this. And last, a website opens a new way to find leads, which is called SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. A massive benefit to having your own business website is that it opens up this new pool of leads from Google searches. This is called SEO, and it's a free way for you to get found by leads that are already searching for your product, service, or anything in your industry even. By using keywords and a little strategy, you can increase your ranking. And by ranking, I mean where in the line of search results your website shows up. Increase your brand visibility and the amount of leads that are headed to your site. And as we chatted about before, increased visibility and larger lead pools mean more conversions. All right, make sure you're getting all this down in your notes. Okay, we made it to step 4, which is secrets to a high converting website. These are the little tips and tricks that we use at Quixotic to build high converting websites that sell for our clients in their sleep. First, let's talk about load times. Slow load times lead to reduced conversions. In a recent study, decreasing the load time of a mobile site by just 1/10 of a second resulted in major increases in conversion rates, between 8 and 10%. I've got a free resource you can use to check the load speed of your site. So you go to pagespeed.web.dev. You're going to enter in your URL and then assess how fast your website is loading. This will even give you an estimation for your mobile and your desktop site. Now, my top tips for increasing site speed are going to be to, number 1, reduce your image size, and number 2, keep animations and GIFs and videos to a limited amount and below the fold. So in the first part of this, I talk about image size. We want your images to be less than 1 megabyte for each photo. So make sure to use a compression tool. I like to use tinypng.com. It's a really easy asset. You just drag your photos there and download them, and they're compressed at high quality. This way your images still look great. They're not grainy or reduced in quality, but they load much faster and don't slow down your website. You'll also want to limit the amount of videos, GIFs, and animations that occur above the fold on your website. And when I say above the fold, I mean the very first section that you see when you land on a website when it loads. So this is that top uppermost section. Below that section, feel free to use animations, GIFs, and videos as you please. But try not to have any of these animation GIFs or videos above the fold in that first area that loads, because this will significantly slow down your website load times, and we obviously don't want that. Your site loads this information first, so keeping this area easy to load is what's going to decrease your site speed and keep it easy to use. Okay, now let's talk about clickable CTAs. CTAs are calls to action, or basically buttons for your website. When looking at a website for the first time, 38% of consumers look at a page's layout or navigational links. When a lead comes to our website, we want to make sure that they know what to click on so that we can book that project or make that sale. We need to guide them. So here's how we do that. Number 1, make your action points clear and concise. So instead of using rambling text on a button, we want to keep it as simple as possible. Next, you're going to separate your buttons from the rest of your site with a clear, bold color or design. So if your website is all neutrals, try using a pop of color for your buttons. It will seriously help people understand, oh, I'm supposed to click here to take this action. You'll also want to keep your buttons really consistent, so don't use any more than 2 to 3 styles of buttons throughout your whole site. We want to train our users to click on specific parts. And if you have like 10 different button styles, it's going to be hard for them to understand, okay, is this a button or just more text? Don't forget to optimize your buttons for mobile. This is a really important part. Make sure they're resized for mobile and the text is legible and clear. And then last, don't forget to check all of your links before you publish your site. You'd be surprised how many people think they're all good to go, they publish their site, and their buttons link to a dead end. So make sure that your links are all properly functioning before you publish your site. Now let's talk about my ultimate area of expertise, professional design. So 94% of a brand's first impressions are made from their website. 94%. Your website tells your ideal audience what you do, who it's for, and why they should look into your offer over competitors. You want to make sure that your website looks professionally designed. So either work with a designer or you can use something like a pre-made template so that way you're making a great first impression. I recommend using Wix for this since it's so user-friendly, it's easy to customize, and they've got lots of hosting plans for every budget. They actually have the widest variety of types of plans over every other platform. So they've got everything from free to top of the line professional. Make sure that your site looks great and functions on all screen sizes, and be sure that your web design stands out from your competitors. So a little trick I like to do for some of our clients is to actually screenshot their competitors' websites. And when we're done, we'll do a comparison and show them, okay, here's your competitors' websites, the run of the mill of your niche, and here's what your website looks like next to theirs, and here's how you stand out. The design needs to attract your ideal audience, but also incorporate your unique personality and what makes you different. This is where working with a professional designer comes in handy, because you spend so much time in the strategy portion and making sure that your website is built for connection and conversion. All right, and last, let's talk about user experience. This is a hugely underrated part of web design that is absolutely critical to your success. In fact, 42% of people will leave a website because of poor functionality. And 60% of consumers rate usability as an important design characteristic for an online shop. So if you got an online store, user experience is critical. We want to optimize the user experience to be as easy as possible and help them navigate throughout your website. We want to guide them on a path to purchase and check for any functionality flaws, so broken links, slower load times, cluttered design, etc. Now, perhaps the most impressive statistic of all of these is that investing in your site's user experience leads to a $100 return for every $1 that you spend. Basically, the more time and money you spend optimizing user experience, the more money you will reap in the form of sales. All right, so just to recap, here's what you learned so far today. You learned the biggest branding mistakes that small business owners make and how you can avoid them so that you don't fall into these traps. You learned how branding matters for your business specifically. You learned why you really need a website in place immediately. And you learned the secrets to creating a high converting website from a professional designer. And since you took time out of your busy day to be here with me today, which I'm so grateful for, by the way, I've got a special offer just for you. So the first offer is 15% off a custom brand service. This is where you'll work one-on-one with me to create a thought-provoking, intelligent brand solution that's centered around your story. We'll develop an impactful brand identity and strategy that will reflect your company's core values and aesthetic while increasing your perceived brand authority and conversions. You'll be included every step of the way in our process to ensure a cohesive, innovative, and totally satisfying brand experience. This is the foundation where we build your logo suite, your type suite, your color palette, your social templates, and your brand guide, which is like a 30 to 50 page document walking you through exactly how to use your assets correctly. Not to mention the strategy portion of this, which goes deep into your competitor analysis, content pillars, mission, values, and positioning statement, and a deep dive in market research into your ideal audience. All right, so in order to redeem your 15% discount, all you have to do is go to our website, quixoticdesignco.com, click on Book Now, and then in the drop-down area of Where Did You Hear About Us, select this webinar. When you book your project, we'll give you a discount code that's just for you for 15% off. With 15% off, you'll be saving over $750, and you'll get creative direction, consulting, video chat support, a mood board, brand strategy. So like we talked about, those core values, targeting and positioning, your logo suite, your brand assets, so your typography selection, your color palette, social templates, and launch graphics. These are made in Canva, so you can duplicate them and use them over and over again with different content. And then that brand guide I was talking about, which is around 30 to 50 pages, 2 revisions, and your asset delivery. Here's one of our clients, Kristen of Harper's Handmade. She says, our rebrand has been an integral part of our success in 2021. The reaction from customers, both new and returning, has been phenomenal, and it's completely streamlined our creative process. In a saturated industry, standing out from the crowd is necessary to succeed, and our new brand identity has created instant brand recognition, helping us to grow our social media platforms by several hundred users per week. I highly recommend working with Meredith and the team at Quixotic. When I say audience growth and increased conversions, we're not kidding around. And as a reminder how it works, to get 15% off your brand, you're going to go to Quixotic Design Co., click on Book Now, fill out the form and mention this webinar, and we'll discount your brand service by 15%, so you'll save $750. Now I actually have one more offer before we go, and it's $150 off of any of your website templates. So you can use the code Cultivate150, which will give you $150 off any of our easy to use, customizable, and high converting website templates. These templates are user friendly AF, so they're pre developed. There's no coding or Photoshop necessary. We've designed all of the page layouts, so all you have to do is plug in your copy and your images and hit publish. These customize really easily, so you can infuse your unique brand personality into the template. It's seriously as easy as drag and drop. Simply swap out the fonts, colors, and images to match your existing brand. And we also include video instruction with every single template, so you'll be enrolled in our Wix training course, which shows you step-by-step instructions to edit your own site, so it's really easy. And these video trainings are available for life. So if you ever want to edit anything on your site, you have access to those trainings that show you how. The best part is that you can launch in just a few days. So this is a really great option for smaller businesses. With just a few days of training, customizing, and optimizing, your site will be ready for launch. Because I know that owning a small business, you don't have a ton of extra time, and I wanted to make sure that these templates are as easy to use and customize as possible. Plus, they're pre-designed with user experience and conversion in mind. Another one of our clients, Becca, says, I'm truly in awe by how investing in my website and rebrand has changed my business. Not only am I able to edit it myself, audios waiting around for a designer, but now I have a place that I'm proud to direct my clients to. One that I can effectively serve them through. One that's up to date with everything I have at the ready to make my clients' lives better. I seriously would go back in time and do this 2 years ago if I had known then what I know now about how this would turn out. All right, so here's what's included when you purchase your Wix template. You get one Wix website template of your choice, so any of the templates from our shop. You get instructional videos to help you customize your template. Even if you are not tech savvy at all, I promise you can do this. And you get 2 weeks of email support and a free SEO training. So like we talked about getting found on Google, we have a free training showing you how to do that on Wix. It's a $397 value that you'll get for $150 off. So here's how it works. You'll go to quixoticdesignco.com/shop templates. You're going to select the template that you want and add it to your cart, and then enter the code Cultivate150 at checkout to save $150. All right, so before we wrap up, I want to dive into a quick little Q&A. I've gathered some questions beforehand here that I'll be answering for all of you. All right, so first question is, how do you drive traffic to a website after having a storefront and now transitioning to online? So it sounds like this person had a brick and mortar, more in-person business and now is moving everything online, which, by the way, is such a common occurrence given the current climate that we've been through the last few years with COVID. So I'm going to walk you through this. There's a lot of different ways to drive traffic, but if you're looking to do it organically, meaning not in a paid way advertised, I'd focus on building your community across social media networks, creating free resources that entice people to go to your website in the first place, promoting your products on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, all of those, and creating an email list where you can host special offerings like giveaways, discounts, things like that, that will drive traffic to your website. Next question is, who's the best company to go through for making your first website? I know with so many different website builders on the market, it can feel pretty overwhelming deciding which one you should go with. We love using Wix for our clients because it can meet them at all stages of business. So whether you're just starting out or you need something really robust for an e-commerce company, Wix has a solution for you. I love Wix because it gives the designer or yourself full creative control. It's a drag and drop editor, so you can literally drag anything anywhere. It's really easy to use. And you can fully customize your mobile site, which not a lot of other builders offer. Even really well-known brands like Squarespace don't really let you customize your mobile site. And as you learned earlier, obviously a mobile site is really critical in keeping your audience on your site, meeting them where they're at, and keeping those conversions high. Wix also offers really incredible SEO. They have this thing called an SEO wizard, and it's like this mini training that shows you exactly how to optimize your SEO for every single page, all of the assets throughout your website. That way you can start getting found on Google really easily by your ideal clients. And last, Wix is rated higher satisfaction with their customer service over Squarespace and other platforms like that. They provide customer support through email, forums, social media, and a dedicated support center, and a 24/7 callback center for phone support. So no matter what stage of business you're in, I definitely recommend going with Wix for your first website. How to optimize SEO. This is a great question and not something that I can completely cover in this Q&A, but we do have a free training on our website in the free resources section all about optimizing your SEO. We show you exactly how to do it in Wix and how to find keywords and all that. So definitely check out that free resource on our website. Hopefully that helps. All right, so that concludes this workshop. I'm so glad that you joined me today, and I really want to follow along with your biz. So if you haven't already, go ahead and add me on Instagram, send me a DM, tell me more about your business. I want to hear from you. And just thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I know that we are all busy as entrepreneurs, so I really appreciate your time and hope this webinar was helpful for you.